freaks. Today is all about starting new. And by starting new, I mean not being a pussy anymore and getting some fucking fitness back, hey? Today's the first time trial and I'm really, really excited to put myself in some pain. So 20 seconds off my PB, which is not bad considering that there was this disgusting headwind all the way up. You know, I'm not complaining because I'm just happy that I'm able to get on the bike and not be in absolute agony. I watched this video the other day from Lionel Sanders's Kona vlogs, and there's a quote from Gustav Eden, which is just me right now. He says that he is just happy that he's able to push his body and it not completely break down on him. And that freedom of being able to just absolutely hammer yourself is just like nothing else. Even though I'm unfit as fuck at the moment, I don't care. I'm just happy to be putting myself in some pain. You know, the last few months have honestly been so painful. Not just physically painful, but also mentally painful. The wrong kind of pain. You know, I don't really like to talk about it too much because it's kind of like a bit shitty, but there were times over the last couple of months where I was in so much pain, not just from running or walking or anything like that, just from being in the car and going to work and being at work was so painful that some days I had to just take the day off, which is absolutely shit because I love my job and I love what I do. But if I'm in so much physical pain, I just can't handle it after a certain amount. But here's the thing, I think that physical and mental pain can be the greatest motivators in life. Motivation for change. The thing is, pain is most likely what pushes most people to start running. It definitely pushed me to start running. Pain is also what motivated me to get on YouTube and start making videos as like an expressive outlet to deal with pain. Pain is the greatest motivator, and pain is what has allowed me to continue turning up and trying to get back to where I want to be, even after 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months of just being kicked in the dick. Pain is the greatest motivator. But here's what I think. If you want to do something truly special and at your absolute maximum of capabilities, you have to suffer at some point for a certain amount of time that you don't know when it's going to finish. And you have to push through and find an extra gear that you didn't know you actually had. Motivational speech over for today. That's enough. Today we're going to actually talk about pain itself and how to know when to keep pushing and when to keep suffering and when to actually stop, because it's a massive issue in the running community. People just pushing through pain and not having like an objective way of processing when they should push and when they shouldn't, rather than just thinking about emotions all the time. That is what I kind of specialize in at work as a physiotherapist, is allowing people or giving people the tools to critically analyze when they should push and when they shouldn't. It's very, very empowering. Motivational speech over. Let's get into some education. Let's get some star jumps in to warm ourselves back up, because now we're going to talk about some not first world problems shit. Let's go. But before we get properly started, like, comment, subscribe, share this video to your grandma if you need to. Any views count. We've got to keep this ripping. Daily uploads. Let's fucking go. Also, the boxes came, and now today we're doing our first ever test shipment. So the hats are fucking coming. I haven't forgot about them. It was a very expensive thing to forget about. So they're fucking coming, all right? I don't know how to build websites. I'm shit at it. Fuck. Okay, this is my pain scale to rule them all. This is the exact pain scale that I use to either get myself out of the door or take a day off. It's so objective, and it's going to help you to understand when you're thinking with your emotions and when you're thinking with objective reality of when you should actually do it, or if you're actually causing yourself more harm. So 0 out of 10. So 0 is nothing, no pain out of 10. 0 pain. This is quite rare with running. This is quite rare with running because you always have some sort of niggle or, tightness or apprehension. Maybe one of your ankles is a bit sore from the other day. This is quite rare, but if you have 0 out of 10, well done. You're genetically elite and you can carry on training. Well done. So 1 out of 10 pain, I like to call the awareness zone. So you're aware of something. It just feels a bit different to the other side of your body. Like for example, maybe your hamstring's a little bit, weird today. And compared to the other side, there's just something weird going on. This is the awareness zone, 1 out of 10. So 2 out of 10, I like to call the apprehension zone, okay? Apprehension means that you're aware of something and you're kind of wanting to just take it a little bit easier. So you know that there's something going on and you shouldn't just go all out. Maybe you have to dial it back a little bit because you're apprehensive of what might actually happen. What might actually happen is that it moves up to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 out of 10 maybe, but it's not really changing your gait or anything like that. You're probably just a little bit more aware of where you're stepping, how fast you're going. You might check the watch a couple more times just to make sure that you're not overdoing it on that particular day. That is apprehension, 2 out of 10. So the next is 3 out of 10 pain. This is what I like to call the gait change zone. So what happens is you start to feel really, really tight, a little bit painful, and so you start to hobble a little bit or you add a little bit more weight on the other side. You basically start to change your gait in some way to protect something that's going on. That for me is a 3 out of 10 pain. Not ideal, and that is a super sad face. So number 4 is the no longer fun zone. You felt it. Something goes ping in your run. It's not that bad, but all of a sudden you're like, fuck, running absolutely sucks. This is really painful. I don't like this anymore, and this is not a good zone to have. The only thing that would be worse would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 out of 10 pain. Jesus. And yeah, 5 out of 10 is not good. I like to call this my I need to stop right now zone. You've had this happen before. Something has gone horribly wrong, and your brain is telling you that you need to stop right now. Otherwise, it's gonna get bad. Everyone's been through this. Like, this zone turns you into a massive pussy. You basically just go, nah, I cannot do this anymore. Something is seriously wrong. I can no longer run. It's not fun. I'm apprehensive. My gait has changed. I'm super aware of it. And this is not fun. I need help. And this is the worst zone to be in apart from 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 is a little bit different. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I call the psychopathic zone. Bro, there's something wrong with you if you're still running with this. The type of pain that this is would be like tearing your ACL and then continuing to run. It's like going against every signal that your brain is telling you to stop, and you're just doing it anyway. This is not good, and you need some serious help, but we're gonna go and talk about 1 to 5, okay? Now, there is an extra zone that I like to call 0.5 out of 10. I like to think that I've created this 0.5 out of 10 myself, because the way that I think about this is that there's psychological awareness without any objective pain. So it can't be 1 out of 10, because 1 out of 10, you have an objective awareness of something that's a little bit wrong compared to the other side of your body. So say, for example, like I said, that hamstring just feels a bit off compared to the other. That's a 1 out of 10. 0.5 is that you might have had this hamstring pain in the past and you're very, very, very aware of it. You're very sensitive in that area and you feel that awareness, even though there's nothing actually wrong. Shit, did I just hit puberty? There's nothing actually wrong in that area. That is a psychological awareness without objective pain. 0.5 out of 10 is where you want to be after an injury. So now that we understand this, I'm going to take you through exactly what you should do and how you should make decisions based on which zone you land in every day. Okay, let's do it. Now the blue zones, 0.5 to 1. This is pretty normal. That's going to fluctuate, and you might find that if you are dealing with a little bit of a niggle, it might be really sore at the start of the run and then it will drop to a 0 after. So that's something that is happening in your body. You're just going to have to deal with it. It's not going to cause any issues. It only is if it starts to go from 1 to 2. You can continue running with that 1 to 2, but you might have to modify your training a little bit. Maybe you need to dial back the pace. Something has to change for you to get back to that 0.5 out of 10. That 0.5 out of 10 post-injury is very, very important. One, we're getting a little bit hairy. 2, we have to change something. And when we get to 2, it really is your call as to whether you want to continue running during that session. I personally would not. I would just stop. But you have to expect that the next day, you've caused a big inflammatory response to get that 2 out of 10, and you're going to be sore. And so the next day is probably going to be a rest day. The next day is probably going to be a change in your training program or something. Something has to change. And then when we get to above 3, 4, 5 out of 10, you need to stop right now, because your body is telling you that something is wrong. And if you can't even run in the same way without gait change and, hobbling and stuff, bro, you need to stop. It is not worth it anymore. So the classic 6-hour check, 6 hours after your run, do a little bit of a jog or a little bit of a, plyometric thing. And if it's still 2 or 3 out of 10 after you stopped your run, bro, the next day is going to be a rest. The rest of today is going to be a rest, and you're going to have to rethink your training because something has gone wrong. If after 6 or so hours, it's back to like a 0 when you do those things, then you're going to have to check the next day. So the next day, if it's 2 out of 3, if you get out of bed and do a little test jog, then you're resting again, and you're going to have to continue resting and probably find a physio or something. And if it goes back to a 0, you can train, but it's going to be extremely modified, and you're not going to be able to go above 1 out of 10 that day. If you go anywhere near 1 out of 10, you are done. And that inflammatory process is just going to get spiked up like crazy. I hope this really helps to paint a picture of how you can work through pain objectively rather than just focusing on the emotional aspect of it, because it can be really frustrating when you're in pain and you can make rash, emotional decisions, which is not good, and it always leads to making an injury even worse. That's my pain scale. I hope you enjoyed today. Bit of motivation, bit of education, nothing better. See you guys tomorrow. See ya.